All right. Well, I'm Kelly. I know like 95% of you already, but I'm gonna go over your guys' favorite topic ever, the POS system computer. So I have made you guys this, which is a POS manual. So if you go through it, it tells you the steps to take. I have pictures and then I have it kind of like circled or highlighted as to what you need. So we're just kind of going to go through that on our demo site. We just got our demo site up and running. So you can do practice sales if you want. So just ask us for the URL and we can give you some practice.
I'm going to jump in real quick there. Practice sales have to go on the demo site. We can't do those out here. If we practice sales on the computer out here, it actually leaves us with a balance due at the end of the day. So, yeah.
All right. So first off, I just couldn't find it. Okay. So first is getting to the POS screen. So if you ever get onto the computer and it looks like this or it looks like something funny, you don't know what it is, to get to the POS screen, you click this POS button right up here. Oh, that's not right. And then retail sales, the very first one. And then it brings you to this screen, which I'm sure all of you are at least a little bit familiar with. So, that one right there. And then next we have adding items to your cart. And again, these are all spelled out, and the binder is under the desk in there.
Why don't you go get it and show them?
Do you want me to go get it? Okay, Jen will go get it. So then adding items to your cart is the next thing. So this right here is your cart. Anything you add to this, when you click checkout, that's what they're paying for. So this is your cart. These are the items you can pick to add to your cart. So we have licenses right here, which is the one you guys will probably use most often. So if you click licenses, and then this is all of the licenses that Jen talked about. So we have the annual for 30, the second annual for 15, and the combo for 45. The transferable, 2 motorcycles. This is the $6 day pass. And then this is if they come in with an unattended ticket and they just want to pay the $10. You click this, and that's the $10 unattended. So these are all the licenses. If you want to add a license and another item, you can add it to your cart, and then it puts it in your cart. You just click on it.
Awesome.
And then if you click back right here, then you can add a different item. So we have the licenses, and then we have all the stuff in the gift shop area over there. So we have cups, walking sticks, books, toys, cards. For some reason, pencils doesn't show up, so you have to search for pencils. It confuses me. And along with room rentals. So anything else, like if someone wanted to add like the Good Earth DVD, then it adds it to it. So this is anything you put in here is in your cart. Anything you put in here is what they're being charged for. If you want to take something out of your cart, you can just click this X button right here. And it says, are you sure you want to delete it? Yes, I'm sure. And then it's taken out.
And it takes a moment. Do you see how it kind of takes a second to go on and off? Be patient, because if you click and click, you're going to get 6 of them.
Yeah.
So that was my other question. If you want to increase, like they want to buy 2 walking sticks, can you just add the quantity, or do you hit the walking stick twice?
You can hit the walking stick twice, or you can click quantity and you can add one to it. Whatever way is easiest. So
Either way, that was one.
that was your question? Okay. So we'll say, for this sake, we're going to do 1 park annual, just a regular annual, $30 annual. So make sure this is how you want it, because once you hit checkout, you're committed. So, or if you hit checkout and you need to add something to it, that's fine. Just make sure you let one of us know so we can go back in and fix it, because it'll add it to our balance. It'll take it out of our inventory. So make sure before you hit checkout that you're committed. This is what you want. This is everything you're selling. So then you click checkout, which is right up here. And we'll go back to this. This is all in the POS manual too. So this is adding it to your cart, click checkout. And then there's different ways you can make the sale. So this is the screen that you make any kind of payment with. So, I'm sure most of you have seen this, but you can make a direct payment or a credit, like a card or a check. So if you're gonna make a payment with cash, you click direct payment up here, and then amount. And then the most important part of all of this is that we make sure we record payment down here. Most important part, if you forget any, don't forget the steps if you can try it, but this is the most important part, is to click this button right here. I wish it was in red. Record payment.
It's really super important, especially with a credit card sale, because if somebody pays in cash and we forget that step, we still have the money. But if we don't take that step with a credit card sale, they leave with their item for free. So it's really, really important that we process the payment or record the payment.
And then sometimes when you process the payment, it'll say like invalid like payment or invalid card type or something up here. So this is, it kind of gives you okay, like this says payment successfully recorded. So make sure you get the successfully recorded. Make sure that you read this up here before you click the OK. Because you can't close out of this screen before you click the OK. It won't let you. Yeah?
I did have one sale on Saturday where, you know, I ran the card through and it wasn't reading it. So I basically had to type in the name, the number, the expiration date, and everything in those cases. So
And that's exactly what you have to do.
yeah, but
if
and there's
it's
a
not
little
reading it.
warning screen up there that will tell you that hey, it didn't record it. So
Yep.
you know, you get in the flow and you actually have to read what it says as opposed to just hitting the blue button.
Exactly.
Well, that was one of the reasons why we decided to come up with this idea of printing off receipts
Yeah.
and highlighting, was because of, you know, and we've all been there. We, you know, get going and don't necessarily critically read things, and so yeah, it's just a good process to get into.
So, again, make sure it says successful. You can click OK, and now from here you can close out of the screen, but we just added a new rule that we're going to print off receipts for everything that we sell. So, to print a receipt, you click this printer button right here, and then you do the 2.5 P.O.S. receipt, and then it'll bring up this eventually. And it makes you click print like twice, I think. Don't really know why, but.
Kelly, what about the printer icon that shows?
Yep, and there's also a printer button down here.
Either one?
So this is your receipt. You want to make sure it says balance due. We're going to print them out and highlight them. So you click print up here. And then you also have to click this print button again before it'll actually print. I'm not going to click it because I don't think it's connected to anything. Or it's going to print to something else. But so that's how you print the receipt. And then once we've printed a receipt, what we're going to do is highlight the balance due right here. So this is highlighted. It says balance due of $0. So this is a mistake one where it says balance due $45.
That means it hasn't been processed.
Correct. Yes.
What if somebody wants a copy of the receipt?
You give it to them. You just have to highlight it. It's kind of like a mental step. We're not keeping the receipts, but regardless if they want a receipt or not, we're going to give them one.
Okay.
So print off the receipt and highlight it, and then you can give it to them.
Oh, so we don't have to put one in the drawer?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
okay. And you can print the receipts.
You can, yeah.
It actually helped me this weekend. We ran into we had a balance due over the weekend, which happens, but it kind of helped me narrow down where and when it happened by having those receipts. So if the customer doesn't want them, it's cool if we hang on to them, because if there's a mistake, it's nice, sometimes we can run it down and figure out who or where. Like for example, a couple weeks ago, Kate's aunt was in here, and we didn't process a payment, but we actually knew who it was, so we called her and asked her to come back in and do it, and that worked out, so
Okay, now,
it really helps.
we are printing out 2 receipts.
No, you just print out one. If they want it, you give it to them. If they don't want it, just put it in the drawer.
But you have to highlight it.
Yep, you have to print it and you have to highlight it. Highlighting is just like a step to make sure you have the $0.
Oh, that's what it is. But
Mhm.
you don't have to have one of those for every one that you process.
No, just if you've already printed it out, just put it in the drawer. So
So we only do these for credit card sales and not for cash sales?
do one for everything,
Okay.
everything. So
Okay, so it always has to be 0.
yep, always has to be 0. We don't want it to look like this. This just says balance due 45. We do not want it to look like this at all.
So if they have it, that means there is a balance.
And if you see that there's a balance due and you don't know what you did wrong, just holler at one of us.
Yep.
We'll come out and we'll help you. Because we can fix it. As long as that customer's still standing there with their credit card, we can still get you through it, no problem. It's when they've left that we can't go back. But
Exactly.
yeah, if you see a balance due and you're not sure what you did, just holler at us. The more you guys do these through the summer, the more comfortable you'll get.
I'll admit that I screwed up on Saturday, and that $45 was probably mine. But I can say what happened, because there was, you know, we had over 100 visitors on Saturday, which is really cool. And when there's all kinds of activity going on, it's easy to get distracted.
Sure.
And
And they're
that's,
talking to you too.
Yep,
and they're talking to you at the same time you're doing this process. So I have a new respect for people who are cashiers at stores.
Well, and that's just the thing is that, you know, and that's kind of why we're talking through this, is because we recognize that, you know, y'all aren't here every day like we are, and you know, we deal with the, you know, on a daily basis, so we kind of pick up the warning things a little bit easier, and they're very subtle. So we wanted to be able to go through this because, you know, I realized that, you know, some of you are here once a week or some every few weeks, and especially through the winter, we've been, you know, a little slower, so people aren't processing sales every day. So we just thought it'd be nice to have a little bit of a kind of an update before we kind of jump into the season, and by the time summer's over, we'll all be pros.
And then we'll all go through hibernation.
So,
Yes.
oh, okay, well, so, and another way you can see that the payment has been processed is on the bottom of that
Yep,
screen. where it
yep,
says payment
that's what I'm
history.
getting to.
Yeah, that if you wonder, now, did it go through or not, you can just look there and see if it's in.
Yep, if there's something down here, it means that it's been processed. Also, if you go to the top and it says balance due 0, it also means it's been processed.
It's really small out there, though.
Yeah.
Do you prefer printing the top one? 'Cause I
It doesn't make a difference. It's just basically personal preference and whatever you get used to. So,
It's green itself and then just roll it up.
okay, so there's this printer button up here, and there's also this printer button down here. So you can click that, and then it's a 2.5. This one's a little bit less confusing because it only gives you the one option, whereas this one gives you 4 options. So, but it's a 2.5 POS receipt. Again, it's kind of easier to see it down here, and then you click it, and it'll bring it up. So, that's making a cash sale. Do we have any questions? Okay. So, and then to close out of this screen, there's a close button down at the bottom, or there's this X right up here to close out of the screen, whichever you prefer.
I like the close button because I like to make sure that there's something in that line.
Mhm.
That's just.
So then, this is still here. Basically, it's just like a payment history. So in order to make another sale, you have to click this next sale button right up here. Click next sale, and then you're ready to go for your next payment.
So you should have all the items in that box before you do the checkout. Am I right? Or is it? I can't
Yes, you need to have everything here before you click checkout.
Put the checkout.
Okay.
Don't have to.
Okay.
So you make it 3 sales, you look good. Instead of 1.
I recommend, if anyone wants to practice for this, come out on a nice Saturday, and you'll stay busy.
Yeah, that is very true.
Not this Saturday.
And if you guys are here on a slow day and you want to run the demo site, just let us know. We can load it for you. Just make sure you don't make real sales on the demo site. So we had that happen at Snake Creek, and that was a mess.
Yeah, we just recently got access to the demo site, so that's the way that we can kind of practice too.
So that's making a cash sale. Now we're going to go and make a credit card sale. Well, I'm going to show you how to make a credit card sale. You can't actually make one on the demo site. And then a check as well. So if I want to add a $30 license to my cart, how do I do it? Licenses right here. And then 2018 annual. Okay, that's the only thing I want in my cart. Now what do I do?
Check out.
Check out. And then it brings you back to this screen. But this one is a little bit different. We're going to say it as if we're doing a credit card sale. So, to make a credit card sale, you obviously have to have, you want the credit/charge button up here checked. Direct payment is only cash. Not checks, not cards, nothing. Just cash. So, if we want to make a card sale, you can just click in this card number box and swipe the card. Yes?
Amount first. We taught them amount first.
Okay, sorry, we click amount first.
It can go either way. That's okay.
The name of the card.
You don't have to enter this, you can do it there.
So,
So yes, if you click here, it gives you a drop down with all of your options of different kinds of cards.
But you don't have to do that one.
Yeah, you don't have to. If you click here and you swipe it, it'll pull it up for you automatically. It just depends on what you want to do. I usually do it to save time, but you guys should probably be taking your time anyways. So, so if you swipe the card, all the information will be put in here unless you want to enter the credit card yourself. And we've already clicked the amount button. What is the most important thing? Process payment. So we process payment. Should we just click OK and close out? Can you guys read that? It says the card type is required. Did it say successful anywhere?
No.
So can we close out?
No.
Okay, perfect.
Do you just press OK then?
Yeah, you press OK and it gets rid of that, but we don't close out.
Got it.
So I can't actually make a card sale. It won't let me make a card sale on the demo site. Doesn't want to save any kind of card information. But that's how you make a credit card sale. Do we have any questions on credit card sales?
I will say what I said before is that I had a card that wouldn't process, and I had to just type I typed the name in, I typed the number in.
Yep, and you can do that right here. You can just manually type everything in.
And when you type everything, and you probably need that CVC number down there, the CVV,
Right.
CVV.
you'll have to get that. You don't normally need that if you swipe the card, but if you enter everything manually, you will need that.
Right.
Okay, so that's a card sale. We've processed the payment. Let's just say this says, okay, we're gonna pretend like we could process the payment and that this says balance 0. Can we close out? We need to print. Yes, good job. So you click here, print your receipt, you highlight it, make sure it says balance due 0, give it to them. We've done all that. Now can we close out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes. Okay, so now we'll close out, and then you just click next sale. Okay. So now we're going to do a check. So I'm a customer, I walk up, I want to buy, I want to buy a book and a license. So what do I do? License? We'll say I want to buy a combo this time. So click combo. Now what do I do?
Back.
What book do we want to buy? Should we buy the book?
Butterflies.
Okay, we'll buy Butterflies. Okay, this is everything I want to buy. I have everything that I want to buy. Now what do I do?
Check out.
Alright, and then it brings us back to this same payment screen. But now we're going to do a check instead. So while it seems logical to do a direct payment for a check, that's not what we're gonna do. Because we're gonna do it as an e-check. So it's a charge, or credit or charge is what we want. So we're gonna click this drop down, just like we're selecting a kind of card. Where we're gonna click e-check right here. Then we click amount. Okay. And then if you click in the routing number and you can run the check, does everyone know how to run a check through that check reader? Yep, you just put it in, it goes around, and it'll put in the routing number and the account number and the check number.
Sometimes, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, sometimes it gets gobbledygook.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's all wrong. So then you just get rid of all that, just delete it all, and then run it again until it brings in the right numbers that you need. And
So
you
how
can
do you
tell.
delete it? You just,
click in that space and
Yep.
hit the delete button.
Okay.
Yep.
Just click the backspace.
is it like putting the credit card in? Is it-
It's the same thing, but it goes around the credit card swipe.
Mhm.
So you have your credit card that goes this way, and then the checks go around.
If you end up trying to put the check through without clicking on the routing number box, does you get?
It'll just
You
put
get
it.
like the hate little sign up on top says you didn't do it right?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can, or it'll put it in the name on account, and then when you try and process it, it won't process it. So it won't let you do it, basically. So if you run it through here, and again, sometimes it won't run, just like Greg said, and you'll have to type it in manually. You always have to type in the name on the account manually, because it can't read that off the check. So that's how you do e-check. You swipe it, type in the name. After you click e-check, obviously click amount first. What's the most important thing we have to do? Process the payment. So, again, it won't let me process it. So,
What, it looks just like a successful.
doesn't it look just like we did it right? But we have to read this up here and make sure it says
I wish it
successful.
was like red. Warning, warning.
Are you sure you want that?
Yeah.
Kelly, when you run amount, did it automatically populate?
It automatically puts the amount in here for you.
Does it, is there sales tax on top of what's showing?
There's sales tax on the gift, or I guess there's sales tax included in all of it, but it adds like cents and stuff to the gift shop items, not the licenses. So,
Okay, now, I'm sorry, this other person is confused.
okay.
Okay, if the check does not go through the reader, okay, now what did you say we have to, because I can't quite see.
So if you run it through, if the check reader's not working for some reason, then you have to type it in. Then you again click e-check, click the amount right here. And then you just have to type in the name on the account, the routing number, and the account number.
Okay, so the name on the check, the routing, okay.
Yeah, you just have to manually type it all in. It's kind of a pain, but if it's not working, that's what you gotta do. So, let's pretend that we've processed this, we got the successful payment, can we close out? What do we have to do? Yep, we have to print it either up here, or it won't give me the one down here because we haven't processed it. Yeah. No. It just closed on me. Give me a second. Here we go. Okay, so we printed the receipt, then we can close out. Okay, we're just gonna do one more. We'll do a cash sale, just as one more practice, and then we can get off this topic. So, I want to buy a cup and a stuffed eagle. What do I click?
Cups and toys.
Cups.
Which one?
I want the red one. I click this, and it adds it up here.
And then get back. Toys. Eagle.
How many did you want?
Just one.
Okay.
Okay, we'll add two.
Yeah.
If you mess with the quantity, it'll ask you to preview it up here before you can check out. So you just preview, make sure this is the prices that you want. Okay, you guys have to walk me through the rest.
Check out.
It's a cash sale.
Direct payment.
Direct payment.
Yep.
Most important part, right? Most important part.
Get the money first, then.
Yes.
That's the most important part.
That's important, very good point. Okay, record payment.
Successful.
Print.
Print receipt.
How do I print the receipt?
Go
I
to the
got the
bottom.
printer.
Go to the bottom.
I like the bottom.
Highlight it,
Get print.
print.
Once more,
And I can hit print again.
and then highlight balance.
I'm not sure if that's gonna even do anything.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, and then after I printed the receipt, what do I have to do with the receipt?
You highlight the zero.
Balance due.
Highlight. Okay, from this screen, how can I tell that my payment was made?
Down at the bottom, payment history.
Down here.
And zero someplace, isn't there a
Zero.
zero?
Yep, there's a zero at the
I
top.
didn't know
Balance
about the
due zero.
I just learned that.
I didn't.
So I see that there's a gift card, and we have gift cards in the
Yeah.
cash drawer. So how do we sell a gift card?
We'll sell the gift card.
I'm sorry?
We'll sell the gift
Oh,
card.
we're at Jen.
We don't sell very many that even I take out the manual for that,
Yeah,
because, I
they're
mean,
kind of a pain.
they really are.
But then if they do use their gift card and say it's a $50 gift card, then we run it through like the credit card?
No.
You can't, but we'll do it.
We'll do it,
Oh, okay,
because
okay.
you have to enter in this big old long number.
Okay.
Jamie just asked what happens if one of us isn't around. Actually, the last time I did it, I had to call somebody at Newton Hills to walk me through it, so
Okay.
that's always an option.
So we start crying if there's.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Put back, Dave.
Say, sorry, we're gonna go ahead and close up for the day. We're out of, gift
Take the
cards.
cash and give the card, that's what I.
Alright, so we got our payment history here. This is the other close button. I've been using the X up here, but there's also a close here. Very last step we need to take before we can make another sale.
Close them.
Perfect.
There you go.